When am I going to California? I have to record the Godfather Minute. My name is Alex Robinson.
And I'm Andy Robinson.
And together we're the Godfather Minute. We take the movie The Godfather, the 1972 classic by Francis Ford Coppola, and we pick a minute at random, and we talk about it. Some behind the scenes stuff. We make jokes about the characters. We do funny impressions.
Interestingly, you said it was a Francis Ford Coppola movie, referred to the director.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was just wondering about that. Puzo got no... You didn't give any credit to Puzo.
Well, Puzo did the novel.
Okay. So the movie is Coppola's.
I think traditionally you would say the director of the movie. I can't think of any cases where you say, unless it's like, ironically, Francis Ford Coppola's movie, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Unless the author's name is in the title.
Yeah.
Or Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire.
Yeah, and I guess Francis Ford Coppola wrote the screenplay to The Godfather. If he had co-written it with Puzo and Coppola, maybe you would have given both of them credit?
No, I would
still
still
Coppola.
fall back on director.
Wow, okay.
It's just...
That's the way it goes. It's good to be the director. And just to show you that it's not all about credits.
I enjoy your pictures very much.
I'm just trying to be Waltz, in case you didn't figure it out.
Okay. No wonder I enjoy your pictures very much. Anyway, we are talking about minute 26.
Alex,
6 months into The Godfather.
E minuto
numero
26. 26.
26. That's easy.
26.
Minuto numero 26.
You got it.
Oh, I can speak fluent Sicilian now. This is awesome.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. So minute 26 starts with Don. The Don is consoling Johnny Fontaine, saying, I want you to leave it all to me. He's, of course, referring to getting him the part in the picture, even though they start shooting next week, and there's no chance they're going to give him the role in the movie.
Yeah, I have no idea how Don Corleone is going to pull this off, because they start shooting next week.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I mean, maybe they'll,
maybe he'll make him a decent offer.
Something like that, yeah.
It's got to be a pretty good offer, though, in order for him to completely kick out whoever is now scheduled to play that lead role.
Well, if they turn it down, then they'll just make it like it's a negotiation.
Yeah, but they start shooting in a week. Johnny's voice is weak.
Wait, they start shooting in a week? Johnny's voice is weak?
Conspiracy.
It's weak.
It'd be funny if during the negotiation process, Don Corleone hadn't actually convinced Waltz, but Waltz didn't want to go ahead with his current plan, so they had someone like stand in and start to film it. Maybe Hagen offered to do it because he liked his pictures very much.
He had to dress up and act like Johnny Fontaine so that it would be easier to replace him.
Do you think Waltz started filming scenes that didn't require the main actor, so they kept to their schedule? But he sort of kicked the can, deciding who would play that main role.
We should save this for the Waltz minutes.
Okay,
we shouldn't burn through all this now.
Sorry.
Yeah, so, speaking of which, though, this is when Tom refers to going to Los California in this minute, because he says, we can discuss this when you get back from California.
Well, when am I going to California?
And,
he say, when am I going to California?
He does say that.
He says when, right?
Yeah, when am I going to California? When am I going to California?
Why? Shouldn't he be saying, why am I going to California? Or do you think he already knows because he was present when Don Corleone told Johnny he would make Waltz an offer he couldn't refuse?
The only thing I can think of is that the conversation revolved around time, because he says, what time does my daughter leave with the bridegroom? And he says, as soon as you get back. And he's like, well, when is that?
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know.
That's awesome.
So wait, I'm rewinding a little bit though. So after Johnny leaves, then the Don goes like, oh, he has this big heavy sigh. Yeah, heavy, so many burdens being the crime boss.
And then the wedding cake comes.
Not just any wedding cake, the Nazarene's wedding cake. If you look, you can see him. He's in the front of them, and he's like telling him, like, "Oh, bring the cake this way." It is a beautiful cake.
Yeah,
you have not seen a cake like this.
Yeah, it's got many layers, and Nazarene is very proud of that cake. You can see him; he's smiling, and people are clapping.
He's like, "My son Enzo will, my new son-in-law Enzo will definitely get in once he sees this beautiful cake.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be allowed to become a citizen."
Of course, it doesn't hurt that the Godfather is going to make that senator an offer he couldn't refuse.
He makes everybody offers you can't refuse.
He's going to burn out that line someday.
Do you think when you, I guess it's kind of implied that you don't want the Don to get to that stage. You don't want him to be at the stage where you're getting an offer. Because that's kind of like the last. That's like the last
really
stop
is,
in the negotiations.
Yeah.
Like he asks you a favor, and you can say no. And then he's like, then he'll maybe make you an offer. And then you're like, oh, I still don't feel like it. My back hurts. And then,
I want to go with the other actor. If that's okay with you, I just think he's better. Johnny kind of took some actions that I didn't approve of.
Although Tom later on says that once he's turned down an offer for a favor, he doesn't ask twice.
Doesn't ask again. Yeah.
So I guess the second time he's not asking.
Yeah.
He's basically.
He's saying sign the contract.
He's making an offer, but it's not like asking. It's
it's not truly. I guess it is an offer.
It's technically asking because he has to respond, but it's not like he's So
so the wedding cake comes in, beautiful cake. And I remember the last minute you were saying the audience really likes to see people good at their jobs. I think seeing Nazarene proud of the cake and people clapping, I felt good watching
Although
that.
I don't know if I connected it that was the same guy. So like
really,
well, I mean, I guess the scene with Nazarene is you kind of just see the tail end of it with him being like, "Oh, you're gonna get such a beautiful cake," and then he leaves. Like I never really connected as much that was that his cake. So
it only took months and months of extreme analysis of this book and movie for you to make that connection.
There's a lot of things you notice when you watch it 1 minute at a time that you don't notice it in a larger context.
Yeah, that's true.
So then the Don says...
So then it's back to the office.
Back to the office. Or I had a question. Those big wedding cakes.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten from a big wedding cake like that? And how do they do it with the tiers? Do you start at the top and eat your way down? Or can you start at the middle?
Boy, well, I'm thinking...
Do they break it down before they start cutting it?
You're asking the wrong guy. You're asking the wrong guy, but I'm thinking that you probably start... Well, you don't want to start at the top because then you ruin. That's where the little figurines of the bride and groom. You don't want to ruin that part. But then again, you don't want to destabilize the foundation.
Yeah.
You don't want the whole thing to come down. But maybe it's built. It's constructed in such a way that you can cut from the bottom and it's still going to
I bet that was in one of the deleted lines of dialogue. Nazarene going into like, "Oh, Godfather's cake is so beautiful. You can cut it right from the bottom. Let me show you a demonstration. Let me show you a blueprint of what."
No, that was Nazarene's first favor he asked of Don Corleone. He's like, "Don Corleone, I need you to design me a cake that can stand multiple layers." Yeah, because it hadn't existed. So Don Corleone's like,
on his daughter's wedding day.
Yes.
Then he had to run home, make the cake, and then bring it back.
No, so Godfather had to go into his other studio, into his workshop, design it.
Yeah.
Get the blue, practice it, make a few variations
Sample
of cakes. Yeah, and until it worked. Go back to his office where Nazarene was waiting the whole time.
Wow.
Given the blueprints.
He comes out with a flower all over his tuxedo.
He's got an apron on.
That's why Johnny was smart to wear a white tuxedo. He's like, "Oh, last time I remember."
If you look closely at the previous minute where Don Corleone smacks Johnny, you can actually see some baking powder on Johnny's face.
Some of the rolling pin. Although, I just thought of something from the last minute that I forgot to bring up.
Okay, let's do a rewind.
In the scene where he's saying, "No man, you can never be a man unless you spends time with his family." If you look in the background, it's one of those things you notice when you're doing it minute by minute. Sonny looks over to the side and like he makes eye contact with someone. He points his finger on his chin and then points like up.
Really?
Like I don't know if it's some like.
Wow, I didn't notice that.
And it's weird because I don't know if he's looking at Tom and doing like a kind of like, "Shh, don't tell him I was upstairs with Lucy," or some other, or if it's some other like Sicilian thing, like a look at this guy, or or something like that. So keep an eye on.
I'm going to go back and watch that. That's fascinating. I noticed one while we're in this rewind zone.
Yeah.
Rewind zone.
You got to come up with a new theme song for that.
Yeah, we actually should do a rewind. We should do all of our rewind comments played backwards.
Oh, totally.
So people have to find a way on their iPods and their computers to listen to it backwards to access that content.
Okay, let's do the first one.
Yeah.
So I love Satan.
I Otis ne at the Unny say. I noticed that Sonny in one of the shots, I think when Don Corleone said, "A man can never really be a man unless he spends time with his family." That Sonny had like grimaces, but I didn't notice him touching his chin and pointing.
Yeah, he does a strange little gesture. Well, we'll watch that between the bonus content. That way you can confirm if this,
Perfect.
If this happens. So the Don then says, "What time does my daughter leave with the bridegroom?" And that to me tells a lot.
Well, before he says that, they talk about Carlo. Remember?
Oh, right, the family business. No, that's after this line, isn't it?
I think he talks about Carlo.
No, he says, "What time does my daughter leave at the bridegroom?" And then he says, "In a few minutes, right after they cut the cake. Now, do you want your son-in-law to be involved in the family?"
Sorry.
So this is how he comes up. This is how it comes up. But, so the fact that the Don says, "What time does my daughter?" He doesn't say, "What time does Connie leave?" He says, "What time does my daughter leave?" With the bridegroom. He doesn't say with Carlo. He doesn't say what time do Connie and Carlo leave. He's
interesting.
Like, so what's the thinking behind that?
Wow. And earlier in the movie, he also refers, like, "Now I'd like to enjoy my daughter's wedding."
Yeah.
He doesn't say Connie. I wonder.
So in that first one, when he says, "My daughter, I want to enjoy my daughter's wedding day," I think that line's actually coming up. But is he talking to Tom or is he talking to Bonacera or one of those?
I think
clowns?
He was talking to Hagen.
So both time he refers to my daughter to Hagen. He doesn't say Connie, even though Tom would know who his daughter was.
Wow. What do you think?
The only thing you can say that on the one hand, represents a certain formality with Tom Hagen, where like it's my daughter, like it's a. Or I think on a practical level, we haven't heard Connie. I don't think we've heard her mentioned by name. Have we?
I don't think so.
So if he were to say, what time do Connie and Carlo leave? The audience would be like, well, who are those people? Because we haven't really met them yet.
That's true. Yeah.
So it might just be a way of letting the audience know who these people are. But
we've seen the movie billions of times, so we know who they are. But you're right. The first time watching, you don't know them.
But also, as we know, he doesn't trust Carlo, clearly. So maybe that's why he's like the bridegroom. He's not even like signifying, I don't know who this bridegroom is. I don't know how he earns his money. So,
yeah. I think you're right. It's probably maybe a few of those reasons.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so then Tom says, "Oh, how involved do we want? What are we going to do with Carlo? And do we want him to be involved in the family business?"
Well, Tom Hagen suggests, he says, and your new son-in-law, you'll give him something important.
Right. And
he says, never.
Not even like, let's hold back. He says, never.
Give him a living, but never discuss the family business.
So right there, you can tell he doesn't trust Carlo, even though presumably he's Sicilian.
Oh, he's half Sicilian.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's half Sicilian, half Northern Italian. And maybe that's why he doesn't trust him. Well, I wonder if he were full Sicilian and if he were reputable, do you think Don Corleone would give him more than just a living? Or was whoever Connie married was doomed to just have a living and never really be a part of the family business?
That's a good question. The only thing I can think of is if it's like a kind of like royal marriage thing where like, hey Connie, you're gonna marry Bruno Tattaglia, and our families will now be one big family.
One big pimpin' family.
One big pimpin' family. Yeah, that's a good point though. I can imagine that no one would have lived up to.
Well, in preparation of this minute, I looked back in the book to try to find more information about Carlo. Was there something in particular? And I couldn't find anything. So I just left me to conjecture.
Yeah.
My guess is the Don is just too sharp to let anyone, even though he had him vetted, he actually sent people out to Nevada and had him checked out.
Wow.
Still, I mean, he's weak too.
Did
Carlo's
he have
weak
people
too.
check? Did he send people to Nevada to
Yes.
check him out? Or did he just ask Mo Green, hey, could you have some guys check him out?
In the book, Puzo didn't write who was checking him out,
Yeah.
but he said Puzo wrote that he had him checked out in Nevada.
Oh, he had him checked
Yeah,
out.
maybe-
So that could have been Mo Green's guys.
Yeah, it could have been.
He didn't
Yeah,
say, he
yeah.
sent Tom to Nevada to do. He just said he had him checked out. So it's
Yeah.
a subtle little thing.
Yeah. And I wonder when Mo Green was checking him out, I wonder if at that point he talked to Barzini. Quoting a famous overdubbed line, of course. I want to integrate that more into the podcast because it's so funny.
All right. So 2 questions
Mm-hmm.
about this scene. What is the living that you think they give Carlo?
Oh, we know it. It's just the bookmaking operation.
So it's still a criminal. It's still a criminal
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's weird. He's still involved in the family business, just
Yeah.
not the family business.
Exactly. It's sort of a subsidiary. It's working out of a candy store,
Yeah,
running
it's like the
this
street
this
level,
number operation. Yeah.
basic level.
And that's why Carlo is upset.
Well, I was going to say, does this scene plant the seeds for Carlo betraying?
Like what was causal? That's what you're asking. Was
You have to show cause.
the Don giving Carlo not enough trust and not enough meaningful work? Is that what caused Carlo to be disgruntled and be a traitor?
Yeah. So let's get this straight, though. So Carlo was, he beats up Connie so that Sonny will come to the rescue.
Yes.
And they'll shoot him on the causeway.
Yes.
They'll massacre his boy. So presumably it was the Tatalias he teamed up with? Who did?
No, it was Barzini. I believe it was. This is
Barzini was the one running the whole, because Tatalia's a pimp. It was Barzini all along who was running the whole operation.
Yes, I believe so. I'd have to go back and check.
It could be Tatalia. We don't know if
is
Carlo went straight to the top or if he just went to any.
I have this,
crime boss.
and I wasn't prepared to talk about it now, but I definitely have it all in my notes.
Okay.
Like Paulie's death, the hospital scene. Do you want me to do a quick look?
No,
No?
we can we'll
Okay.
get to it another time.
Okay.
We have 7 more years of this movie to get through.
I have it right. Actually,
Okay, go ahead.
I have it right here.
Sock it
So
to
this
me.
is under the Sonny attacks Carlo paragraph. So
Wait, in what? Where is this from?
this is way down in my note, my personal.
in your
notes.
personal
Yeah.
notes. You've written all the way up to Sonny attacking Carlo?
Oh
in
yeah,
your notes?
and even beyond. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. But that's why sometimes if we jump, but I haven't looked at them in a long time. So
Long time.
the families are at war. Sonny can't be out in public when he attacks Carlos.
Spoiler warnings for
Yeah,
anyone who has
exactly.
not.
Interestingly, so when Sonny attacks Carlo later in the movie, there is a low-level Tatalia family informer who witnessed the attack. He calls the Tatalias, but it takes him a few layers of people to get through to anyone who can take action. By the time they do, Sonny's already home. Oh, that's what they were actually trying to kill Sonny.
Yeah.
This is the time. This is where they get the idea later to use Carlo as bait for Sonny. So it was Tatalia. But I think all of the families were against the Corleones at that point.
Oh yeah, but I just didn't know if he was, who he contacted.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Tatalia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they said he was on the scene and whatever. So. Tatalia's a pimp.
Yeah.
So, so the seeds are planted for Sonny's murder. Or did the Don already know that Carlo was not trustworthy and this just confirms his suspicions?
Yeah.
We can't really
We don't
tell.
know. No.
But,
I will look back in the book and try to find that.
yeah. Okay, let's suppose, hypothetical, you marry a lady.
Like Connie?
Well, possibly like Connie.
Okay.
Would you, let's just say you married a woman who you knew was in a family business. Wink, wink.
And I know this going in.
Yes. Would you want a
Jackpot.
You would want a role in the family business, or would you just want to be like Merle and just be a kept man who's kind of just living off of your wife's? Like, would you want to be involved? I've totally changed my mind on being involved with the mob. Remember we were discussing.
You had said it would be awesome because you can get people to pull strings for you and all.
Did
that.
I say that? Okay, then I'm
Yeah.
going to keep going with that
Okay.
because, look, in this situation we had with Johnny Fontaine. Johnny Fontaine gets the part in this movie, and all Johnny Fontaine has to do to make up for it is to just do some concert dates in a casino.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to kill anybody or bury a body in a thing. So sure, if I have the Don do something for me, then so at some point he's just gonna be like, I want you to draw me a wedding invitation. You know what I mean? He's just gonna do something with my skills.
You're gonna use your skills.
He's not gonna have me do.
And one day I need you to use all your skills to draw this wedding invitation.
I want you to do a podcast.
I don't want his mother to see this cartoon like it is now.
Yeah, so I'm totally on board. If there's any crime lords out there who need artwork done or podcasts, a wacky guest on a podcast.
So interestingly, ethics-wise, you're okay contributing, supporting crime as long as you don't have to be the one pulling the trigger. You want to benefit from the crimes the family, your new in-laws are committing.
You're getting it. Now you got it.
I think I'm in. I'm in with that. Okay. You asked me that question.
Well, because in a way, aren't we all, isn't it part of a symbiont circle? Aren't we all basically involved in crime one way or another where some of our money goes to criminals?
Okay, I'm going to pause the podcast right now and let you know this is being recorded, you realize. So anything you say, I ain't no Tom Hagen.
Just joking, of course.
So to answer your question, I would not marry into a crime family. I have not been involved in any crimes. I own stock in Facebook and AT&T.
Now, wait a minute.
As is my right to do so.
Before, you were telling, you signed an affidavit.
Alex, you see our cousin from the Bronx up there behind you? Just need you to see him.
Hey, how's it going?
No, he doesn't speak any English.
Oh, okay. You just came here to support me?
Just came here to support you. He could have had his own family. Man.
I can't wait to get the Godfather too. So anyway, the other thing that this scene does is set up the next line because Tom Hagen says a Virgil Sollozzo called and he wants to set up a meeting. And so it's nice that this comes right at the end of the wedding. This is basically one of the last minutes of the wedding.
Yeah.
And then setting up the next, I don't know if it's act, but
definitely the shift.
Yeah, because now the plot starts moving a lot more. And so, I guess, the second act.
This really is the turning point, too, because up to now it's been very happy, very positive. There have been some sort of dark undertones.
Yeah.
Bonacera asked him to do murder. Johnny's voice is weak. Johnny gets smacked around.
No
you
chance.
See hints, suggestions of violence.
Yes. Yeah. Did you mention Sonny breaking the cameras?
Sonny breaking the cameras.
That's another thing. Yeah. And the guy, Barzini.
Wait, was that a euphemism? Sonny and Lucy?
That's what he meant when he tapped his chin.
Sonny, you in there breaking the cameras?
That's a good Tom Hagen.
I'm getting better. I can do Tom Hagen. Don't ask me to do Johnny Fontaine, though.
You can do it if you do a line. That's just this guy. He won't give me the job. My voice is weak. I can barely sing. Yes, Virgil Sollozzo.
So in the movie, he says, "Hey, we're gonna have to give Sollozzo some time."
It's gotta.
And that's when Godfather says,
"Oh, we'll do it after you come back from California."
When am I going to California?
Tonight. Is that what he says?
Wait,
what? Is that what I say? Did I say tonight?
I meant yesterday. Get on that plane.
I'm not your travel agent. Get on Travelocity. Get on Orbitz. Book your own flights.
Orbitz.
Book your own flights, consigliere.
So is there something different in the book?
Oh, well, it's a little bit different, this whole follow-up part. There's some elaboration with Sollozzo.
Okay.
So the book is different than the movie. I'm waiting for you. You always have some quip after I say that. The book is different than the movie.
What?
The book is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie. The book is different. The book is different. The book is different than the movie. Yeah.
On page 39, I almost said Sollozzo wrote. Puzo wrote.
In the book of Sollozzo, chapter 1, verse 7.
Page 39, Puzo writes, and this is Hagen speaking, Sollozzo can't be put off anymore. Sorry. Sollozzo, how do you do Tom Hagen?
You can only do him yelling.
Yeah, I know. Sollozzo can't be put off anymore.
That sounds like Brando.
You'll have to see him this week. Hagen held his pen over the calendar.
The Don shrugged. Now that the wedding is over, whenever you like. The answer told Hagen two things. Do you want to guess what the two things are, Rouse?
The wedding was over.
Yes.
And then he can have the meeting whenever he liked.
That's true. A little more insightful.
That Tom's a Sharpie. You know, he reads between the lines.
It's 15 years of law school. This answer told Hagen two things. Most important, that the answer to Virgil Sollozzo would be no.
What?
Yeah. The second, that Don Corleone, since he would not give the answer before his daughter's wedding, expected his no to cause trouble. Isn't that fascinating?
So
Hagen's sharper than you give him credit
So
for.
wait, so rewind a bit.
Yeah.
So the two things he knows is that he's going to say no.
Because he said now that the wedding's over.
Yeah.
Because the Don put this off until after the wedding.
Yeah.
This told Hagen those two things.
Because he didn't want it to be before the wedding because he knew it would have disrupted things.
Yes.
It might have caused waves,
Yes.
shock waves throughout the crime lord
And
community.
As we see, it will.
Yeah. These things have to happen every once in a while.
Hagen said cautiously, "Shall I tell Clemenza to have some men come live in the house?"
Also, that shows that he knows there's going to be trouble because it's like, yeah.
The Don said impatiently, "For what? I didn't answer before the wedding because on an important day like that, there should be no cloud. Wait, am I reading this right? I didn't answer before the wedding because on an important day like that, there should be no cloud, not even in the distance." So he confirms that. Also, I wanted to know beforehand what he wanted to talk about. We know now what he will propose is an infamida.
How does he know what he's going to propose?
I think they had they don't write, Puzo didn't write that, but I think he had researched that. He had found out somehow that he was going to make
Okay,
a
so it's not like
drug
something
offer.
happened during
No,
the...
I just assuming that he found out somehow and that the proposal was going to be about drugs.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good...
And then finally, to close this section, Hagen asked, "Then you will refuse?" When the Don nodded, Hagen said, "I think we should all discuss it, the whole family, before you give your answer."
Because Tom was hot for the deal.
Tom and Sonny. So,
yeah.
I mean, it sounds like Hagen was hot for the deal.
Yeah.
Although he didn't, in the book, he reveals it, but he didn't reveal. Oh, he does reveal it in the movie. Because he says, we don't get into this business now.
He's
The
very
other families
rational
will.
about it. He's
Yeah.
like, maybe not now, but 10 years from now.
Exactly, yeah. That Hagen knew something.
Yeah.
He's not a wartime consigliere, but he knows his business.
The Don is getting old. He's
Yeah.
old school.
But I thought it was interesting in the book, in this passage, how Hagen is sort of challenging the Don. He's saying, shouldn't we discuss this with more people? And like, you're almost saying that your word, like, you should think twice about this.
Well, I guess that's kind of a concierge's role, right?
Yeah,
To kind of be the
that's
kind of
true.
like sounding board and say like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you sure about this?" And
Don't just be a yes man.
yeah, because you need someone who's gonna give you honest advice.
Yeah.
You don't want just
Yeah,
just
that's true.
yes man,
That's a
yeah.
good point.
So,
And then finally, the Don smiled. "Oh, you think so?" Because Hagen just said we should talk about this as a family. "Oh, you think so? Good. We will discuss it when you come back from California.
what? When am I going to
I
California?
want you to
Pop?
fly there tomorrow and settle this business for Johnny. See that movie Pezzo Novante. Tell Sollozzo I will see him when you get back from California. Is there anything else?"
So he wants him to go see a movie called Pets of November. What did he say? Go see that movie, Pets of Novena. What's it called?
That's a deleted scene. Hagen's sitting in Times Square or in California watching this movie Pezzo Novante.
He wearing his hat. You just sitting there eating popcorn. He flies all the way home. Pop, why'd you want me to see that movie for?
Pop, why'd you want me to see that movie? They didn't even have it on the plane. They were showing some other Greta Garbo picture.
No, I didn't want you to see that movie on the plane. What's the matter? It's ridiculous. Some consigliere I got.
And that's where the minute ends. It ends with the Don telling Tom to go take care of this Hollywood big shot. Take care of the big shot.
90 caliber Pezzo Novante. I do want to revisit that last passage. So for people that don't know what this means, Don Corleone suggested that this drug business is an infamida. Infamida.
Could you spell that, please?
Yes, INFAMITA.
Could you please use it in a sentence?
I will, but first I want to get the pronunciation right.
Okay.
So I referenced our friend in a previous
episode, we have a linguistic expert, Mr. Peter Carucci from New York, who's on contract with us to provide linguistic support.
You sound like you're very Hyman Rothy with this. And so, Pete, back in New York.
Peter, back in New York, is living on a pension, working on contract for us.
Give us any linguistic advice we need.
At the time of my retirement, he will go through all these minutes and correct my pronunciation.
So, enjoy.
So I wanted to share the pronunciation. So the first one, and let me say what it means first. So an infamida is a Sicilian word that means an act of infamy or dishonor. And it's particularly against one's family, but it can be against a set moral standard.
Which in this case, it seems like it is.
Exactly, yeah.
Although it's funny that the Don doesn't, when he refuses, he doesn't put it that way.
No.
He doesn't say, "Oh, it's a moral crime," or he hands it off on the like, "Oh, my political friends won't go for it." Like he would go for it, but his political friends would not.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like he doesn't. He puts it off on them as to like, "Oh, they wouldn't be my friends much longer if I got into this drug business."
Yeah, that's true.
So
which is a departure from his character. Usually, he's a straight shooter, and he makes his morals very clear.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, this is the first time we see him dealing with someone who's not like every person we've seen up until this point has been someone who's like kowtowing to him.
Yeah, that's true.
This is someone a little bit more equal, or at least has connections. He has to treat him with more respect than he would Johnny Five. He's not going to slap around Saloto or
You bring this drugs business to me? That's an infamida.
Anyway, so now please use it in a sentence.
Well, the sentence would be like, it is an infamida. but here's the first pronunciation from our linguistic expert in New York. So this is the Italian pronunciation.
Infamità.
Infamita.
Did you hear that, Alex?
Infamita.
That's it.
Infamità.
He puts the emphasis on the fam, which makes sense if it's family.
Yes, exactly. And then, but most New Yorkers, or many New Yorkers, and the way I think the Don
They forget about it.
the way the Don pronounces is infamida.
Infamità.
Was he correcting you in that?
Infamida. Infamità. Infamida. Infamità.
All right, so I guess, the minute ends with Tom, with the Don telling Tom to go take care of the big shot. So what do we want to rate this one? It's a tricky one.
Yeah. There's a little bit of transition. You get the wedding cake.
Yeah. You do have wall-to-wall Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Which automatically bumps it up one notch.
It does.
Never give him a living, but never discuss the family business.
You got Salazzo mentioned, but not really a whole lot of discussion there.
I'm going to go ahead and give it 4.
I was going to give it 4 too.
Yeah. I mean, any scene with Brando and Tom Hagen,
Yeah. It's just classic.
podcast. That's what we're here for, right? Yeah. So, all right then. So
it'll be interesting to go back and if we averaged all the ratings and that's the rating for the movie.
Yeah. Someone, when we did on our podcast Alphabetical, where we went through every single Beatles song and rated them all on a scale of 1 to 5. And at the last episode, we did all sorts of statistical analysis.
Funny.
The average rating was 3.2. This person had the highest rating. This person had the lowest average rating, and so on. It was,
funny. I wonder how the different actors would feel. Al Pacino's like, what? I got 3. My scene's got 3.5 stars. That's Waltz.
And just to show you, it's not all about ratings.
Well, my children come and play with their toys. So,
4's all around.
Yeah, 4's all around.
Perfect.
I guess I'll wrap up this minute. We're setting the stage for our bonus content. And
Yes.
what do we have today's episode?
Well, Alex, in case you haven't heard, you and I are brothers.
This is what I've heard.
We've always been brothers.
Word on the street.
Word on the street. And so I took the liberty, and I don't think I had your permission to do this, but I did anyway. I talked to our mother.
You talked to our mother about my future.
Well, I waited for you to be to
die.
To not be there, because I need 48 hours in advance notice for you to not be there, and then
Right.
you can. Sorry, that was terribly awkward. I was referring to Michael and Fredo's.
I know. You don't have to tell me. I'm your brother. I know
I was
what you're
explaining
referring
it to I was explaining it to the listener because it was such a poor job. Anyway, I interviewed our mother about The Godfather. So I asked her several questions.
Growing up, we knew she liked it. She would quote Hyman Roth like every time we had a cake that's being served. She would talk about running molasses out of Canada. We're like, what does that do with the cake? She would never explain.
It's just so funny how those memories, you connect some memories with media.
Yeah.
That's her.
So you sat down and so the bonus content today will be you talking to our mother about my future.
We sat at at our kitchen table in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
The Electric City.
The Electric City. We interviewed her.
Steamtown,
where the office takes place.
took place.
Is
Yeah.
it done?
Yeah, the office.
How many seasons did it have?
Ooh, I think it was like 8 or something in the end.
Boy, it wasn't a record though.
No.
No, okay.
No.
Any
No.
spin-offs?
No. There was talk about doing a Dwight Schrute spinoff, and I think they filmed it, but I think they turned it into a backdoor pilot.
Really?
Yeah.
And it never took off?
Yeah, I think they never did, which is good. It was,
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you
So
want,
I interviewed your mother, and that's what the bonus content's going to be. That
Yeah.
full interview.
so if you want to hear that, go to godfatherminute.com/support. Sign up. It's just $5 a month, or even $4 a month.
And let me give you a little teaser for that bonus content.
Uh-oh.
Listeners, you're going to learn a lot about Alex.
Oh boy, maybe
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to this one.
I mean, I took those since I was talking to her anyway about The Godfather. I figured I would ask her about like you wetting the bed and when that period you were wearing diapers in middle school.
Yeah, all my humiliations have to do with me urinating on
I didn't even mean that, but those are the first two I could think of.
yeah, real funny.
So regarding that bonus content, so enjoy.
Joy, and until then, take the
Gun and leave the cannoli.